So for 17 years that I served in the Royal Air Force, much of that time was spent flying this aircraft, the Tornado GR4. Only 5 women have actually ever flown the Tornado on the front line. Now, as I'm talking, you are all thinking the same 2 words. Yes, you are all thinking Top Gun. See, I'm a mind reader. You don't get to choose your own call sign. I am 6 foot tall, and there was a programme on in America at the time called Sesame Street. Welcome to the wonderful world of Big Bird. From there I gained my private pilot's licence, so now I could fly an aeroplane before I could even drive a car. And it was then that the Air Force offered me a commission to become an officer as an air traffic controller. I'll be honest, zero desire for that chosen career path, but you know what? It became really evident to me that a foot in the door is better than none. And actually, if I took that commission, I could make my case from inside the Air Force. And sometimes the path is not going to be that simple, is it? And when I talk to schools, often, the kids these days, they want things now, they want it there, they want an easy path, and you say, it's not going to be like that. A door will shut, but look for the alternative ways forward, and we know that that's the case in life. They had opened the doors to women, and 70% of women that were taking these tests just failed them. 80% of men at the same stage in life were passing them. And they realised they had changed their recruiting pool, but they had not changed their testing. And they were making quite a big assumption that men and women process things in exactly the same way. And we all know we don't. And that's why when we talk of not just gender diversity, but cultural diversity, actually we do all bring something very different to the equation. And that's why it's important we actually end up moving forward in that sphere. You don't want someone that's just paid to do the job. You want transformational leaders. One that will take everybody on their journey with them. It is so important that we open up our thinking, that we utilise our networks that are around us, that we make those contacts, we share our best practice, that we grow together, because that's why things like this are so important. And we're always told in the military to control the controllables, and it's such a great mantra. I use it all the time. Every time I feel my stress levels going up, I just say, control the controllables, and if you can't, you let it go. So if you're late for a meeting, I'm going, oh gosh, I'm late. Can I do anything about it? Yes, I can let them know, but if I can't, just stop it, just relax and feel your shoulders go down. I was immediately posted out to Iraq, where I then spent the next 4 years on 3 monthly rolling detachments. We were based in Ali al-Salam, just outside Kuwait City, and we had 8 aircraft, all of them capable of carrying these things. These are 2,000-pound bombs. One of these would take out this centre. We've got the engineers. Now, to me, they are the lifeblood. They would work tirelessly, 12 hours on, 12 hours off, in temperatures hitting up to 50 degrees centigrade. You want to know about trust? Well, they can't just be doing it for compliance and for regulatory sakes. They've got to be doing it because the culture is right. They do not want to take a shortcut because they know that our lives are on the line if they do. But once we got down here, into the Saudi Arabia border, in 4 months, nothing had ever happened. I can tell you now, when nothing's ever happened, there's going to be one big assumption. Nothing will be happening. So as I swept up the last target, I am going home the next day. I've lost 2 stone in weight. I had a great suntan. I was thinking about a new dress that I was going to buy to impress my husband that would fit this stunning figure with its massive neck. Well, literally, Ringo just shouted, "Mandy, brake right!" I just slammed my throttles fully forward. I rolled quickly to 120 degrees and I pulled hard towards the ground. He immediately starts pumping out these things. They're flares. They burn at an incredibly hot intensity, and they act as a surface to as a decoy to a surface to a missile that had launched in a heat-seeking mode, and it had locked onto my engines. It was a manoeuvre I'd practiced so many times, but never for real. And as we did this manoeuvre, this is what happened in my cockpit. We pull over. I pull hard. I chill my engines. He releases the flares. I go, ooh, because they were so bright. I've never seen them. Every single trip we fly, we debrief it. It doesn't matter if it's for training or operational purposes. We ask the same questions. What happened? What were the facts? Why? What's the cause? But how? How can we be better? That's what you're getting to every time. And it was at the end of that debrief that the Commander-in-Chief happened to call our formation. He wanted to speak to me, the formation leader, because he wanted to congratulate us on a direct hit on our target that night. We were the only team that had succeeded in our mission. And I took the call. On putting the phone down, my shoulders went back, and I thought, yeah, That's how it feels to make decisions, to be held accountable, but be happy to do so. And why? Because I was so empowered by my boss. He'd challenged this junior team member to lead when the going was simple. When the complexity increased somewhat, he didn't leap in. He let me continue, and I grew more as a leader that night than I have on any other. I realised I had a passion for human factors, for looking at why do accidents happen. I've lost 8 friends in the Air Force, every single one down to human error. And so I set up my own business, taking on lessons from the front line into businesses all over the world. And I do still fly. Well, I did fly actually until earlier this year when I finally hung up my flying boots. And I just want to finish by telling you about this young girl that I flew with. She was my 10th cadet of the day. I go as a volunteer at the weekends, and when this girl walked out, I was not as motivated as I was on the first when I saw her. Parachute on her back, shoulders bent over, quite an angry look of disgust on her face. She walks up to the edge of the wing. I said, "Hi, my name's Flight Lieutenant Mandy Hickson, what's yours?" And she said, "Emily." I thought, oh, joy to the world. Emily gets into the aircraft, she starts strapping in, I look across, she has so much eye makeup on. I am really concerned that under G-force, the simple weight of the mascara might actually prevent her from opening her eyes. But we taxied out, I said, "Have you ever flown?" But no. You're looking forward to it, suppose. Anyway, we get airborne, it is a beautiful sunny day, much like today. Pilot's paradise, white fluffy clouds, and we started to fly up, down, left, right. She is good. She is so natural. I said, "I'll tell you what then, we're going to finish off, Emily, with some aerobatic manoeuvres. I'm going to teach you how to do a loop." So what we do is we lower the nose to 140 knots. You tense your legs and your tummy, otherwise the blood will pool in your feet and you will feel faint. As you get to 140 knots, you pull hard back on the stick, pulling 4G as you do so. You hold the stick in towards your stomach, you look up towards the horizon. When you see it coming in, you yell, "Yee-haw!" at the top of your voice, and then you do a 4G pull out the bottom. So don't be scared, Emily, when I pull out the bottom, whole aeroplane tends to shake violently. It means you've hit perfection, by the way, you're going through your own slipstream, so there's nothing to worry about. So I demonstrate mine, it's really smooth, there is no shaking. I give her control. "I have control, ma'am." She grunts, she pushes, she pulls, we go through the horizon. I yell, "Yee-haw!" She does not. She pulls out the bottom of her loop and it went da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She looked across at me. She had this radiant smile on her face suddenly. And that smile said to me, "I am better than you." Anyway, I said, "I've never actually said it to anybody before. Is this something you might want to do? By the way, you are actually really, really talented at it." And she said, "Oh, you're joking?" I said, "No." And she went, "Oh my God, I really cannot believe you just said it. That's really funny because actually I was going to hear the bus. I thought, oh my God, what's ever tried really hard to do? Oh my God, it's really funny because I remember the first memory was sitting on the desk." I was like, "Stop talking." I did prefer the grunting, but it transpires that this was her dream. It was all she'd ever wanted to do, and she'd been so scared she was going to fail, she just decided not to engage. Not to show me she had any interest whatsoever, because why would she do that? Because if we try and give it all, and then we fail, it's a way further to travel down, isn't it? It's a bigger fall. And she said, "I decided not to try at all." And I could always blame it on that. I said, "Oh God, Emily, you can't do that with your life." I said, "How many opportunities are going to go flying by unless you grab things?" Excuse the pun. You know, with both hands. And I said, "How are you doing at school, by the way?" She went, "That, hate it. And that enables this. And by the way, you're brilliant." I saw her a year later. She walked past me in the corridor. I hadn't seen her without her helmet. So when this girl walked past me with loads of eye makeup, I thought, God, that looks like... And she went, "I bet you don't remember me." I was like, "Oh, I bet I do. I used it in my speech." This is basically my philosophy in life. You know, we can have dreams. We can indeed believe them. But unless you put them into action, you are going nowhere. You've got to dream it, believe it, and do it. Thank you.